Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Blue Archive reaction. Today we have themes 197 and 223. Apparently, according to this comment that was left by Olivier Tang, this is a little bit different because it actually includes some themes and motif work from other songs I've already heard in the past. So that'll be kind of interesting to get to that one, but we're going to be starting with 197, which doesn't have an alternative title, so I guess we'll just jump into it, shall we? Let's go! Ooh. Really heavy on the traditional influence in the sound of this one. Still in that pentatonic area. Ooh, ooh. Whew. Great percussion on this. Really like how this one just vibes. Oh, tasty lick on the piano. God, I love that. Man. Oh, this one was just way too short. I knew it was going to be short, but that was way too short. I needed another evolution of that. This song actually utilizes something I mentioned in the prior videos about the pentatonic scale in the songs of Blue Archive, in that it uses just the black keys for that spot at the end. It just goes up. Like, the main section of that is kind of, they do bounce between octaves, mind you, but it's just... and staying on those black keys just at that spot. And the rest of the song obviously gravitates around that and has that same feel. Even down to those, like, I'm not this good at piano, so I'm not going to try doing it that fast, but those... like, those are just basically ways to traverse. There's other notes in there too. I am not going to try to figure out each note for this, just because that would take me a hot minute. I don't know how to play piano. Everything I do here is basically by ear. But anyway, that's kind of a general thing there. Those little climbs there, those like arpeggiating dances, those sweeps up and down, getting from point A to point B. That's why I also mentioned that it does jump octaves, because in between it actually starts more up here, but then it moves itself down, because like you get the octave on those two notes, of course, but the one it jumps down to is obviously the next one down, so it goes, and it just kind of does that. It also, like, it just uses the space there of the octaves. It's the same notes, all those four, but it's just played between the two different octaves. That is moved around a lot, and again, that's why it does that sweep up and down. It's to get from that point A to point B, so that connects it in your brain and makes you go, oh, it's all cohesive. So that way you're not hearing something completely done in a different octave in one spot and then jumping immediately down to the next one, because that would just feel weird. You need some sort of a glue there, and that's why that sweep is probably there, just to make it sound a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to the ear. But aside from that, loved the rhythm on this one, loved the way that the drums felt. It just kind of half-time to the half-time, a quarter time, if you will. And it's a really nice feel to just have this slow churn of this percussion just supporting such a beautiful flowing theme. There's not really much else going on here. Lots of piano, lots of little like flicks around and just kind of dancing. It's very flighty, it's very loose and wavy, it's very flowy. But anyway, aside again from everything I mentioned already about pentatonics and how those work, I think I am going to just move on to the next song, because I'm very curious about that one given what the comments said. So without much else to say on that one, let's get to the next one, shall we? Yeah, I already see what they mean. I remember this like marching militant sound. Ooh, hard style. What? Guess it's more like a bounce. It didn't get quite too hard to be hard style. It's It's in that same vein, though. Loving the chip tune. It's been a while since I've heard that on any of the songs. At least in this way. Especially those little flutters in there. Woo. Throwing in some taiko clicks. Gotta love those rim clicks. Woo. I thought it was gonna go like slow, but nope, it picked itself back up. Woo. Oh shit. Get him. Hey, hey, wait. Let's go. Hey, go. What? Hey. Why did this just get fire out of nowhere? That was a really fun way to end that. I didn't expect the complete fusion to be had at the end there. So we have something else that's really fun with this song, something that's a little different. It's not necessarily the pentatonic scale this time. I believe this one might actually be an octatonic, which, while similar, obviously by the title, they both have their note counts that you can hear in the name. So pentatonic being 5, octatonic being 8. They effectively do the same thing and have the same general rule of being a scale on a piano, of course, but one having 8. So there's a little bit more room to play with. And I think that might have been truly what gave me that hint, is because it had a little bit more flex in the notes. And I was like, this sounds a little bit different. I think they chose the octatonic so they could have that extra flexibility within the 5 that they wanted to bring back as part of a motif. So that's a really smart way to handle this as well. Most of the scales that we know in the West are octatonic scales. That's kind of the overall standard. It's just not known specifically as octatonic unless you're getting into the music theory stuff, if you're getting nerdy about it. But overall, it's the same general process of just having a scale. It's using a few more notes, and I think that that adjustment was just done for that little extra flexibility. It also weirdly in some spots almost sounded like the Sailor Moon theme song, so I think it might be using a similar key or at least a neighboring key, maybe a relative of this one. That's just a weird personal note. There was definitely some shared notes within this to that theme, and it just kind of made me laugh, but either way, that's largely irrelevant. I just wanted to point it out. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the song, I almost immediately picked up on that marching flair, that obviously marching sound that was coming out of this song. So I immediately was like, oh, that's where they're getting the reference of the prior marching songs that I have heard. And there was, again, some sharing. There was a little bit of motif in there, I believe, but that might just be because it's in the same key as well. And of course, you're going to use the same notes. It's either that or they were making a reference to the theme, but they transposed the key. I didn't go back and listen to the other songs to see which is the case, but it could be either or. And I do appreciate that it's there. I like it when they blend stuff like that together. It makes it feel like the worlds are coming together and that there's a little bit more cohesion to the world we're living in and experiencing in the music, especially when things like this happen, special events where they want to borrow or reference those other things, or if it's something like an anniversary song where they're trying to blend a bunch of themes together, but not all of them are recorded or performed in the same key, so they have to like transpose the original theme to make it fit with the rest of them. That's just how you do music and how you do reference work. But as far as like all of the other details about this song, it was just kind of what I've already said about those prior themes, I think. I don't know if I would call anything really standout about this song otherwise, aside from maybe that really sick final couple measures where they just kind of fused it with the West and it was like, hey, yo, where did that come from? That was a sick beat. Loved that. But that was really the only other notable thing for me in this one. This one was fun, and I do love that they blended all that stuff together. together, but I think it's just because I've talked about those songs plenty already that my brain isn't like thinking of anything new or exciting to say, so I will leave it there and stop yapping. So thank you all so very much for watching. Of course, if you have any other requests you want me to get to, by all means leave them in the comments and I will do my best to get to them as always. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!